Good morning, everybody. Nice to have you here. This looks just like my living room at home, actually. You know, it's beautiful, isn't it? That my constituents here know otherwise. I just want to speak to you a little bit about Ayn Rand and what she meant to me in my life and the fight we're engaged here in Congress. I grew up on Ayn Rand. That's what I tell people. You know, everybody does their soul searching and trying to find out who they are and what they believe, and you learn about yourself. I grew up reading Ayn Rand, and it taught me quite a bit about who I am and what my value systems are and what my beliefs are. It inspired me so much that it's required reading in my office for all my interns and my staff. We start with Atlas Shrugged. People tell me I need to start with Fountainhead, then go to Atlas Shrugged. There's a big debate about that. When we go to Fountainhead, but then we move on, and we require Mises and Hayek as well. But the reason I got involved in public service, by and large, if I had to credit one thinker, one person, it would be Ayn Rand. And the fight we are in here, make no mistake about it, is a fight of individualism versus collectivism. In almost every fight we are involved in here on Capitol Hill, whether it's an amendment vote that I'll take later on this afternoon or a big piece of policy we're putting through our Ways and Means Committee, it is a fight that usually comes down to one conflict: individualism versus collectivism. And so when you take a look at where we are today, some would say we're on offense, some would say we're on defense. I'd say it's a little bit of both. And when you look at the 20th century experiment with collectivism, that Ayn Rand, more than anybody else, did such a good job of articulating the pitfalls of statism and collectivism. You can't find another thinker or writer who did a better job of describing and laying out the moral case for capitalism than Ayn Rand. It's so important that we go back to our roots to look at Ayn Rand's vision, her writings, to see what our undergrounding principles are. I always go back to, you know, Francisco d'Anconia's speech at Bill Taggart's wedding on money, you know, when I think about monetary policy. And then I go to the 64-page John Galt speech, you know, on the radio at the end and go back to a lot of other things that she did to try and make sure I can check my premises so that I know that what I'm believing and doing and advancing are square with the key principles of individualism. But when you look at the fight that we're in here in Capitol Hill, it's a tough fight. It's a very important fight, but we need more people on our side to fight this fight. That is why there is no more fight that is more obvious between the differences of these two conflicts than Social Security. Social Security right now is a collectivist system. It's a welfare transfer system. It's a system where, and I always tell my constituents, and none of them usually believe me, you don't have an account with your name on it in the federal government. There isn't a box with your cash in it that's going to come to you when you retire. A lot of people think that. And what's important is if we actually accomplish this goal of personalizing Social Security, personalizing Social Security, think of what we will accomplish. Every worker, every laborer in America will not only be a laborer, but a capitalist. They will be an owner of society. They will be an owner and a participant of our free enterprise system, of our capitalist system. I would like to have more people on our team who are owners and believers in the individualist capitalist system than on the other side. And if every worker in this country becomes an owner of real wealth, of seeing the fruits of their labor come and materialize for their benefit, then that's that many more people in America who are not going to listen to the likes of Dick Gephardt and Nancy Pelosi, Ted Kennedy, the collectivist, class warfare breathing demagogues. And so what we have coming now in the beginning of this century is a fight.